Now, this one's actually going to stem from a conversation that me and a good friend of mine had. He's actually a very big time Miami Heat fan. Unlike some of y'all who ran away and became Cleveland fans, and now you're a Laker fan. Does everyone realize that if LeBron, let's remember after the Spurs beat them pretty badly in the finals, and then LeBron did his whole "I love you, Cleveland, I'm back" and all that BS, right? If LeBron would have stayed in Miami, 9 times out of 10, the Heat would have gotten another ring that year, and possibly the year after that. You know, this is one of those big what ifs in history of basketball, because the San Antonio Spurs took the manhood of the Miami Heat. You know, when that dude going to prison and he be beating his chest, he Billy Badass, and then Damon from Friday pull up and take his manhood. That's what the Spurs did to the Miami Heat that year. He took their manhood. They couldn't look themselves in the mirror no more. They didn't know whether they wanted to wear shorts or a dress. So LeBron ran away to Cleveland, teamed up with Kyrie, and that's when we got the Cavs versus the Warriors later that season. But what people tend to forget, because I guess because it's San Antonio, you know, the Spurs, everyone always sleeps on that team, is that the Spurs did not go back to the finals that next year. They did not go back to the finals that year. The team that went to the finals the following year was the Warriors. And these weren't the overpowered Warriors of now. These are the Warriors with basically Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and this is Draymond Green in Caterpie stage. You know, he still isn't developed into the, you know, what he is now, but, you know, he was still there. This is just basically the Warriors with a bunch of shooters around them. You know, so it's like, people never talk about that. It's like, if LeBron would have just stayed in Miami, you would have had Dwayne Wade, you know, with at least one good leg. But, I mean, do you see Steph Curry going off like that up against Dwayne Wade in a finals game? Because I don't see that happening. You know, we all remember when the big explosion of Steph, when, you know, Drake made that 0 to 100 song, and Steph Curry suddenly, you know, hit puberty, and he just starts shitting threes on everyone from every piece of the court you can imagine. And that was a magical season to behold, but I don't see that Warriors team beating the Miami Heat. But there's a lot of factors that happened that season. You know, Chris Bosh started having problems with the blood clots in his lungs. But even still, it's like the way that Heat team was built. You know, you had Shane Battier, Mike Miller, Norris Cole, Mario Chalmers. You had Birdman there. Haslam would still give you something. I don't see that Warriors team just you know, manhandling the Miami Heat team. I don't see that happening like that. You know. But it's one of those, you know, it's one of those big what ifs. Because the Spurs did not go that year. You know, if Miami would have gone against the Spurs again, they would have got waxed again. But the Warriors, just Steph and Klay up against the Heat, I don't see them winning. I don't see them beating LeBron and Wade together. And plus, I mean, with the two coaches, you know, this was Steve Kerr's very first year, fresh off Mark Jackson. And you still had Eric Spoelstra in Miami. I don't see the Warriors beating that Heat team. I just don't. Because even coming off the bench, who they had? I think they had Iguodala, Bob McAdoo, maybe Livingston, Harrison Barnes, you know. Like, it's the Warriors without KD. The Warriors, Draymond Green hasn't even developed yet, against the Heat team with LeBron in his prime, Dwayne Wade, who he's going to turn up in the finals. The only thing is Chris Bosh with the blood clots in his lungs, but even with Bosh going, I don't see the Warriors in 2015 beating the Heat team. I just don't see that happening. So when I think about it that way, it's like, let's say the Warriors did get whooped by Miami and they don't become this big team that we think they are. Does KD want to even go to the Warriors, or does he stay in OKC? Because the only reason he went to Golden State is because he knew he could win a championship there. But if they keep getting waxed by Miami, maybe he doesn't go there. And if KD don't go there, maybe Boogie Cousins doesn't go there. It's interesting. So by LeBron running away like a little bitch, he kind of sort of helped create the Warriors into what they are now. And I find that funny and interesting. What y'all think about that, though? It's one of those big what ifs in history.